Welcome to Emotional Shift, a space to connect, grow, and transform our lives with responsibility and compassion. Here, we'll explore the unexpected turns that invite us to reflect, heal, and discover new ways to align our body, mind, and spirit. In this podcast, we'll dive into emotions, personal evolution, and practical tools that can help you live with more clarity and purpose. I'm Anate Yepes, psychotherapist and conscious integration coach, here to guide you on this journey toward your highest potential. This is Emotional Shift. Welcome to this transformative space. Hello, and welcome. My guest today is a dear friend, Tatiana Podoliako. She has come a long way in her life journey. She is a HeartMath mentor committed to empowering individuals to remember the power and wisdom in their hearts, to embrace their innate capabilities for growth and healing. In this beautiful conversation, you will understand more about what is HeartMath, the science behind it, what are the benefits that you can bring into your daily life to create more harmony, love, and wholeness within body, mind, and spirit. So here we are with Tatiana, and thank you really for being here with me and sharing this space and share your knowledge also with the audience. So I would like to start by asking you, well, a little bit more of you, uh, your journey, and how you end up deciding to become a mentor in HeartMath.
Anna, thank you so much for having me. It's been a long time coming, and I'm honored to be here and to have this conversation with you and share with your audience what I know to be true. So, my name is Tatiana, as you mentioned, and I am a Heart Math certified mentor. I guide people to remember the intelligence of their heart so they may unlock the greater potential and unlock love consciousness and create the life that they truly deserve to have. My personal journey has led me to this path right now. I've wore a lot of different hats in my life, from a business owner to a hospitality professional, but it has always been my true passion to help people. And I've reached that point in my personal evolution where it is time to share this knowledge with the world because we do live in unprecedented times and our world is changing. And it is time for people to embrace the intelligence within, to create new ways of living, of relating, and create a new world for all of us to thrive in. And I believe heart is at the center of that work. For my personal journey, heart has always been at the heart of any transformation. And now it is my mission to guide people to, through the power of their heart, through the connection with their heart, to cultivate greater understanding of who they are so they may tap into their dreams and create their life from that space versus what they've been conditioned to believe their whole lives, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, and that's beautiful because I think that part of knowing who you really are, we usually miss that in our daily lives. We run in the do everything we have to do in our lives, and we forgot about that understanding of why we are doing the things that we do and why we chose to make certain decisions in our life, creating path. And sometimes we find ourselves like, why am I here? Like, why am I doing this work? Why am I, in this relationship? Or why am I acting the way I am? Or start feeling things that I don't understand and just react to them instead of really getting to know us and know our feelings. So I love that you point that out, because I think we're missing that.
Yeah, I agree. It just happened that way that for centuries, thousands of years, it's not even in our lifetime that it happened, that we've been indoctrinated, conditioned, programmed a certain way. And often enough, we lead lives that were lives that are not really ours. What society tells us is best for us to do, what our family, our parents, our spouses think is best for us, with big influence right now of social media or media in general. And we are just not used to asking ourselves what it is that I want to do. And often enough, we don't even know what it is or who we really are, because there is so much outside noise that comes in with that. And even our dreams, what I've learned in my life, that sometimes even our dreams are not really ours. When we dig a little deeper into it, they are just what we thought was best for us from our limited state of consciousness.
Exactly. And why do you think, and what now that you know all of this, why it's so important to pay attention to our hearts?
Well, for in all of the ancient wisdom books and ancient traditions, heart has always been the most important organ. You know, it's mentioned over 1,000 times in the Bible. Egyptians believed in this concept of ma'at, which is a light heart, that your heart will be weighed on a scale before you transition into an afterlife. And so it's no surprise to us. It's really not a new concept that heart is so important, but it is only now the scientists are discovering these new things of the importance of heart and the intelligence that our physical heart actually has, not only on our biology, but also on the emotional, mental, spiritual health of our being. And so now the spirituality and the science are actually on the same page about it. The importance of our heart is when we are fully in this space that scientists called coherence, which is a harmony, a balance. Your podcast being called Balance in Action, right? So it's a balance, it's an entrainment and synchronization of all systems within our body that unlocks these things within our biology. It regulates our hormonal responses. It activates higher centers in our brain. Those are that are responsible for mental clarity. And so, from that space of mental clarity and harmonization, synchronizations of all biological system, we actually have greater potential to act in our life. Instead of reacting, we get to respond. Mental clarity means making better decisions for our future or for our daily life, making smarter choices. And then again, back to being who we are and knowing what our dreams are, aligning our heart and our mind with the truth of our heart. So we're talking about biological effects, and then, of course, those that are translated into our everyday life and overall life experience.
Yes, and
Did I
we
answer your
live
question?
in yes, perfectly.
Yeah.
And we live in this society that is completely mental. It's like everything has to be logic, everything has to be rational, and we are in the culture of that is separated from our feelings and our emotions. Like it's the mind that needs to control everything. It's like if my decision is based on the logic of the outcome, it's good. But if you tap into the gut feeling or the heart feeling, okay, no, that's not important. It's like we separate. We tend to, in a cultural way, in that we live in nowadays, it's that feeling of separation. So, what what in your experience you have learned about that coherence that you were talking about? How can we um, make understand make people understand the importance of the integration of the emotions and the gut feeling into the daily life?
Well, as you often remind me in our personal conversation, that our brain's main purpose is to have us survive. Our brain as an organ is a polarity organ. There is a left and a right brain. And so when we live our life, which a lot of us do in our society, from that space of only brain, logical thinking, analytical thinking, we often tend to judge right, bad, right, left, bad, good, them versus us. And unfortunately, again, this has been a way of living for so long that is it takes remembering and practicing for us to get back into living from our heart. And in our heart, there is really no bad or right, um, bad or good, right or left. In our heart, there is a unity. And it's a practice. It's practicing the heart math teaches these tools, practical, very easy to apply techniques that are actually the only scientifically validated um, techniques to create that coherence. And from that space of coherence, where we are activated and centered in our heart, our brain is informed of what our heart truly wants. And so we are not living only from our heart, where we are acting upon, which is a big part of it, acting on our intuition. And we can speak a little bit about that a little later. But when we are living in coherence, in a harmony in our heart actually notifies our brain. It has been believed for a long time that it is our brain that sends signals to our heart. But in fact, 90% of information goes from our heart up to our brain. So our heart actually notifies our brain on how to react to certain things biologically, what stress hormones to release or not stress, other hormones to release, what chemical, um, biological, physiological, mental responses to send back to our body. So when we create this space of coherence, when we practice it, and we can practice with your audience a little later, so you know what we are talking about, but when we practice this heart coherence and when we cultivate it, we are rewiring our brain and also rewiring, reprogramming our body to respond differently to everything in our life. In that way, we align our heart and our brain. Our heart is in coherence, then our brain is in coherence too.
It's a perfect explanation. And yeah, I would love to do a small practice at the end as a gift to the audience, so they will know, and they will not only know but feel what heart math really is. And I wanted to also tell the audience how we met, because I feel that's important also. We met in Dr. Joe Dispenza week-long retreat in Niagara's Fall. And it was really funny that we came out at the same hour. So we started meeting in the morning, and then we walked to the auditorium where the retreat was going on. So we started knowing each other a little bit better and better. Tati is from Ukraine, and we had, even though a lot of things in common, and we started sharing the experience that we were living, and personal, growth and development that we had that curiosity for the path, for the evolution of the soul, more even though that from the mind. And so we started like seeing together and feeling together that connection, that integration, that harmony that you were talking about. Like, okay, I'm feeling this, and we both, I think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that we were a little bit struggling with that. Okay, who am I with all of this? How can I, you know, connect this to my life? How can I bring this into my life? I want to bring this feeling that I'm feeling, that this coherence that I'm feeling, this peace inside of me into my daily life. I want to, stick to this. So since that moment, we decided that we were going to do another advanced follow up, and we did, and we went together and so on. So Tati had her own path also, in that work, in that line of work, and I had mine. So we became friends, and we have been talking about this and nurturing each other in our experience about growing and developing this coherence between the heart and the mind. It's a
Yes. And since then, I think that we both have quite grown, um, and quite evolved. And so been only been what, 2 years, a little less than even 2 years.
Mm,
And I feel like we both have quite transformed since that retreat, and maybe definitely partially due to the work, but also through our own eagerness to transform and to change and to evolve and to grow. And I feel like there is way more and more of us who are seeking and who are longing for that growth, knowing that there is way more to life than just a mundane wake up, go to work, come home, binge Netflix, go to sleep, wake up, do it over again, right?
exactly. And what is beautiful that I want also to pinpoint is that uniqueness that you said, like how you have grown in your own way, and I have grown in my own way. But at the end, we felt the same connection. We felt the same harmony in our hearts and in our minds. So, as I always, like to and love to reinforce, is that I like to change that we need to feel special. I love to create that uniqueness. It's a difference between unique and special. Special come from comparison, from seeing, as you said before, like them or us, I and you. It's like I am unique in my own way, and there's no one that could feel my experience, live my experience of life. My life is my own life, and it's my responsibility to bring everything that I am into the experience of life.
Yes, and we can go through the same things in life. We can even grow up in the same family. We know that I have siblings, you do too, and we know we are all very different. So we can come from the same parents, we can live in the same household, and we can have a totally different experience of life. And that's where what you mentioned about uniqueness, that brings me back to our point in the beginning of conversation about knowing who we really are and living our life from that space, what is right for me, not for them but for me. How do I perceive my world? Getting to know ourselves, getting to know our heart, what brings me joy, what doesn't bring me joy, what drains my energy, who are the people that I want to surround myself with, who is, that community, that tribe, what are my unique dreams, and how do I want to live my life and experience my life that is true to me and not true to what society I don't know, government, my family thinks is needed for me. And
Exactly.
that's
It's
what we do when we connect with our heart, we get to know it.
exactly. It's how do I want to show up in the world as myself, as my true self. So, yes. So, tell me a little bit more about the heart math. Because when I talk to people about heart math, they say, like, what? There is a math for the heart? It's like,
Well, HeartMath is the name of the company organization that has a lot of different units, let's say fields of work that they do. Uh, they have been around since early 90s doing a lot of scientific studies and research on the heart as a biological organ and also as a energetical organ. That's the largest part of this work is scientifically validated, scientifically proven things. Another large part of HeartMath is a global coherence initiative where they're measuring a global field um, of our planet, of communities, and how we can influence a global consciousness rising. And then another part of the work that I'm involved in as a heart math mentor is guiding and teaching people these techniques, tools to create that heart coherence, to um, bring more of these techniques into day to day life for self regulation, for managing our health issues, for managing stress, and then overall, of course, for raising that potential and our capability to live this life. Um,
so, yes,
had to
it's okay. And what are the benefits that these techniques
Right.
and tools brings to your clients?
Yeah. So there are over 400 independent studies right now across different demographics and different age groups that show the benefit of practicing these heart math tools. And they vary in a range from let's say there are studies for kids and college students that show that those that are able to sustain heart coherence have greater scores on their test. Um, Heart coherence helps with blood pressure regulation. As I mentioned before, with mental clarity. A lot of work that HeartMath do is around the communities of incarcerated people, a lot of refugee camps, a lot of first responders use heart math tools and techniques for bringing that inner balance and composure into their lives for their work performance, for their personal performance, and then, of course, changing our responses in our body, changing our biology, physiology, so we may cope with stress better. There is a lot of stress in our world right now and in our lives as well. So, heart math helps us regulate, helps us bring that greater balance into our daily life.
What is the most beautiful or important feedback that you had had?
Um, Various. I work with people in very different lines of work. I work with people in very different levels of consciousness in their life, but one main feedback is that they feel like they are fully in charge of their life. Something that they have not understood or experienced before, something that they thought was not even, they never even thought that that's how it's possible. one feedback that a client shared with me who is in a very high stress job shared that she just thought that that's how she was, always anxious, always reactive. She never realized that she's actually capable and able to change that response on how she reacts to things, on how she, you know, performs literally in her job and in her life.
Wow.
And that's what I like about this work and about guiding people, is that it's not really something that's outside of us. I'm not teaching them anything that they cannot do without me. And that's another part that I love about Dr. Joe work and what we do there, is that it's remembering that that intelligence, that power is within us, and we are fully in charge of our life, of how we react, how we respond, how we create our day, and how we can change our emotions, change our thought patterns, change our habits to bring more balance into our life.
Yes, and yeah, we feel sometimes, and I get this with from a lot of my clients also, that it's like the natural way of living. It's in the doing, and the anxiety is normal, the stress is normal. It's like we forget that it's a balance. It's a balance between doing and acting and reacting sometimes, and resting, regenerating, and just feeling to thrive through life, instead of feeling that life drives you.
Well, life drive us in a way,
Yeah,
but
but we
that
can
might be
change
for
that
another.
perspective. We can change that perspective.
Yes, from my own experience, um, I've had a very strong anxiety and very, I call it functioning anxiety, which I see it in 99% of population right now. Well, 99 might be pushing it, but I see it in a lot of people around me, not just my clients, my family, my friends, my surroundings. People think that that is normal, like you said. They think that that constant racing heart, sweating palms, and constant fear of something is normal, but it's not. People think that it is like, well, that's just life. Yes, it is just life, and there is a lot of stressful situations. I know that there are a lot of in my life, but they don't realize that they don't have to feel that way.
Hmm.
Some people
Yes,
don't
that's
realize
that's
that they do have the power to not feel that way and to change something about themselves.
exactly. It's just like accepting that life is that way, instead of realizing that you can change the things in your life that are not serving you, and that you can have a different kind of daily life, that you can wake up and you feel excited about your life, and not feeling that you are swimming against the current. So
Yeah.
mhm. So
And
uh
not just that you can,
mhm.
not just you can change things around you. It's most likely not around you what needs to change, but it's what's inside you that needs to change.
Well,
And not
exactly.
everybody
Uh,
is willing to take up on that responsibility.
well, you got a good point there, because most of time we tend to blame on the things that had happened to us. And it's not fun to acknowledge that everything that happens to us, it's our responsibility too. And life doesn't happen to us, happens for us. And when you change the perspective about that, you can do different things. You can act on what you're feeling really and connecting to the heart. And it's a part of the ego there that we can, I'm not gonna get into the ego part, but the ego is nothing bad or good. The ego is just all the things and the experience that you have, like, put in your backpack through your life since you were little. And in the unconscious, you act from the emotions that connected you with a pleasant or unpleasant feeling. So if you feel that outside of you there's something that reminded you of an emotion that was unpleasant, you're going to react from that imprint. And the other way around also is true. So taking responsibility for how you feel and how you act, and not blaming in the outside, even a boss or your partner or the circumstance that you are into, but acknowledging what is my part in this, what am I feeling towards this? What is this situation, this partner, this boss, this person showing me about me, and
Yeah.
acting on
And then,
that?
yeah. And then taking responsibility, like you said, things have happened to us or things happen in our life that are sometimes out of our control, but taking responsibility on how you show up in all of those things, how you have the ability to respond differently to life, to your circumstances, to situations, and how you have the ability inside of you to change your self, your behaviors, your thoughts, your emotions, even into perceiving it all differently and showing up for yourself differently.
Exactly. And it's that fear of losing your identity. When you were talking, I was like connecting the dots, in order that the fear that we feel sometimes is that if I do something different, who am I? This is not me, because me is the person who has anxiety, or we label ourselves, like, I don't sleep. I'm the person that, that doesn't sleep because I always, my mind is racing all the time, or I am, I'm grumpy. And that's my character, that's my way of reacting to things. Or I am the person that, maybe is not the person that tells things all the time, but once you swallow enough, you explode on other people, or on other, or in different situations that triggers you. So it's the fear of allowing you, or allowing each person to understand that you can be whatever it is that you want to be, and you don't have to live with a label, like a personality label. I'm this way or that way, or I cannot control this part of me. So there's a fear that you need to break in order to think, okay, maybe I'm the person that sleeps super well. And, maybe I'm the person that uh, can hold a pause and not react, but take a breath and see how I want to show up in this situation. So there's also that going out of your comfort zone of who you are, and telling your ego that I want to be something different.
Yes, I agree with all of that. And at the same time, also, I'd add to that is being okay with being all of those things too. I believe we are multidimensional beings, as in a spiritual way, but also as in a physical way. Like we were children at some point, our bodies have changed, our personalities have changed, and it is okay. We are all of it. We wear a lot of hats. We are daughters and we are coaches and then we are friends. So, yeah, we are multidimensional in our expression too. We have different hobbies, interests. We don't have to be just one thing. And when you look at yourself when you remove that fear, like you said, when you remove yourself from your life sometimes, and we do that through meditation, where we get over our bodies, get over our environment, and we connect with the truth of who we are, what's underneath all of that fear, what's underneath all of those identities, those labels we put on ourselves, what HeartMath calls an energetic heart, which we spoke about, in the spiritual tradition, which they also do a lot of research on that part of the heart. When we connect with that essence of who we are, well, then all of those fears and things and labels, not that important anymore, right?
Exactly, exactly. Beautifully said. I love it. So, coming back to the heart math, how can math heart help us
Heart math.
understanding heart math?
Yeah.
Uh, help us understand uh, that we are dimensional beings. How can heart math help us overcome that ego fear, if we want to call it that way, um, to connect to the energetic heart?
So let's see. What HeartMath does through the application of these tools, techniques, creating more coherence, that's exactly what we do. We are connecting to that deeper part of our heart, to that energetic heart that is always there, invisible to the eye, but very quite measurable actually. It has been shown that there is an energetic, electromagnetic actually field around our heart, our physical organ heart, that goes up to 3 to 6 feet, is what they can measure. Um, and it has been also shown that there is a so that electromagnetic field is what energetic heart literally is, and it is connected to anything and everything around us. When we create coherence, when we sustain it, when we cultivate it, that balance and synchronization within our heart and all system within our body, we are activating things in our DNA, in our um, nervous system, that are dormant, latent, what they call it, or that are just so imbalanced. When we create more and more coherence, we are balancing our nervous system. We are creating new neural pathways that shift in our baseline. And so when we are in that state, we are tapped into that energetical heart instantly. There is nowhere to go to get it. We are in it. It's just we need to get through the layer of the old programs, the behaviors, the emotions that are linked, like we discussed, fear or other destructive emotions. When we tap into the coherence of it, we are already in that energetical heart. And in that space, we actually have such an access to our intuition. We have access to the field of information around us, which I believe is intuition. And from that place, it's very easy to align yourself with who you really are.
Beautiful. So, I want to tell our audience that I'm going to leave here your webpage. So if they want to know more about these techniques and these tools to bring them into their daily life and to give themselves the gift of going into the energetic heart and be in there and have that feeling and notice how coherence can allow them to, feel more at peace, more in balance, more in harmony, and bring that into the outcomes in their life. So I'm going to leave your information if you want to leave it to and say how the audience can connect to you and reach out to you. And well, you said, and I'm going to take your word on that, that we're going to do a little bit of heart math right now so people can know more and feel more about what the
Yeah,
practice is.
absolutely. I'd love to share it with you. So I'll So people, your audience, if they're interested in finding out how heart math can serve them, they can find me through my website, which is lightfulheart.com. And they can explore there. And here's the practice that before we begin, I want to give you a little bit of a context so
Mhm.
you all know what we are working with. Um, what we're going to do is we're going to intentionally connect with our heart, and easiest way to do it is for us to physically touch it, placing the hand on the chest if that's comfortable for you. If it's uncomfortable for a lot of people for various reasons, you can touch any other part of your body knowingly that you are connecting to your heart. If there is any emotions that are unpleasant for people who might be experiencing some traumatic experiences or grief and they don't want to connect with the heart, just focus on your breathing. And we'll intentionally breathe in and out through our heart space. With that, we will begin regulating our heart rhythm, and then we'll cultivate an emotion, a feeling that is renewing. And HeartMath found that feelings like love, kindness, compassion, appreciation are those that help us step into that coherence easily. Those are our natural feelings of our heart. Those are natural to our body. And so it's instantaneous shift. And so we'll do that. And doing something like this for 3 minutes a day is proven to have effect. Practicing it more than once or twice a day, I usually recommend doing it in the morning, first thing you wake up, and then before you go to bed. Learning to practice it, especially in those moments that you feel activated, irritated, angry, in fear, learning to send different signals to your brain and regulate your nervous system helps a lot to establish those new patterns in your body. And then just practicing it because it really feels good. And so I
Perfect.
invite you
So I
to,
can use my imagination also in order to connect to the feeling.
you can, yeah, you can use your imagination. The key here is to experience it. So let me show you, and then if you have any questions, you can ask me afterwards.
Perfect. Thank
Um,
you.
but bringing your attention to your chest area, and you can close your eyes or even practice this with your eyes open. Um, Begin breathing a little slower and deeper than usual, finding a comfortable rhythm that works for you. Some people like breathing in and out on the count of 5. Gives them a nice balanced rhythm. Imagining the air flowing in and out of your chest area. Breathing in through your heart and out of your heart. Sensing quieting of the mind, sensing more spaciousness in your body, just sensing more presence, Continue breathing in and out through your heart, making a sincere attempt to experience a feeling of kindness, appreciation, gratitude, love. If it helps, thinking of something or someone that evokes those feelings, of a person, a pet, a place in nature, that brings up these feelings of love, appreciation, kindness. Letting yourself experience it, feel it, sense it. Intentionally breathing this feeling in and out through your heart space. Sensing with each breath the feeling amplify, grow, fill up your whole heart space. Breathing in and out through your heart. With each breath, experiencing more kindness, more appreciation, gratitude, compassion. You can pick one or you can practice feeling all of them. Sensing this feeling inside of your body. Remembering how it feels. Allowing every cell of your body to experience this feeling. Intentionally cultivating more of these feelings of kindness, gratitude. Breathing in and out through your heart. Setting an intention to come back to this feeling again and again, to remind ourselves of the harmony, balance, coherence, and wholeness that's within us. Whenever you're ready, bringing your attention back and opening your eyes. How do you feel?
Oh, I lost my words.
That's good.
I feel very calm. I I felt peace, and I love to connect with the feeling of gratitude. When you said it, like it brought a lot of memories of gratitude, and that was beautiful.
Yeah. I like to mention to remember that feeling for people, feeling what you're experiencing when you are practicing and afterwards, because those are the keys. When we remember these feelings, we are leaving a mark in our bodies, in our understanding, in our experiencing and embodying that feeling, which helps it way easier to connect next time and to even remind yourself again and again that you are capable of feeling that way. You are
Thank
capable
you.
and very much worthy of feeling peace, calmness, and gratitude.
Thank you so much. That was beautiful. I hope the people that connect and listen to the podcast also have this beautiful gift in their life, and they can practice it and come back and do it again. And Tati, thank you so much for your time, for your beautiful knowledge, for your generosity of sharing with us. And I'm honored to have you here and to also support me and with this new challenge. So I'm very grateful for you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure and literally an honor and privilege to share this with you and your audience. And I hope it serves your highest good, whoever's listening to this. And I hope people remember the truth of who they are and the pure intentions of their heart.
Thank you. So, if you have any comments, if you have any thoughts, please write them down. I'll go back to those comments. I answer every comment and every question. So, and if you want to know more about Tati and HeartMath, uh, you can follow her and go to her webpage. So, thank you so much, and see you soon.
Thank you, Susan.